A very good morning to one and all. At first, I pay my tribute to the great visionary Dr. Panjabrao alias Bhausaheb Deshmukh, the founder president of Shri Shivaji Education Society, Amravati. I, Dr. Ravindra Kumar Sahibrao Dhande, the organizing secretary, welcome you all on the spacious occasion of the inaugural function of 2 days National E-Conference on Interdisciplinary Recent Research Trends. I heartily welcome Honorable Shri Harshavardhanji Deshmukh Sahib, the President of Shri Shivaji Education Society, Amravati, as a chief patron of this mega event. I welcome Honorable Dr. G.R. Tadas Sir, the principal of our esteemed college, as a chairman of this conference. I also welcome Dr. Kalpana Pawar as a convener, Dr. G.C. Kamble, Mr. G.B. Harade, Dr. P.M. Dahikar as the coordinators of this conference. Dear friends, as we are aware about the current situation of the globe caused by COVID-19 pandemics, everyone is in the fear. The government has declared the series of lockdowns to control this global issue. This has affected almost all the areas, including the area of research and education. To control over such kind of pandemic disease may need several days to the months. So, an initiative has been taken by our college to organize such national e-conference, which will be really helpful to all the researchers. Dear participants, I am very glad to share with you that around 2000 participants have been registered for this national e-conference. This conference will cover the 4 sessions, covering the invited talks of the eminent personalities, of which 2 will be covered on today and 2 will be covered on tomorrow. Today, the conference will be opened with the welcome address by Honorable Dr. G.R. Tadas, the principal of our college, and it is followed by the inaugural talk of Honorable Shri Harshavardhanji Deshmukh Sahib, the President of Shri Shivaji Education Society, Amravati. The first session covers the keynote address by Honorable Professor G.S. Khadekar, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. And it is followed by the invited talk of Honorable Dr. G.G. Mude, Head, Postgraduate Teaching Department of Physics, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. On tomorrow, the conference will be opened with the lecture of Honorable Dr. Nitin Dongarwar, Head, Postgraduate Teaching Department of Botany, Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. And this lecture will be followed by the lecture of Honorable Dr. S.B. Maske, the Principal Scientist, National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. Now let's open the conference with the welcome address. So I invite Dr. G.R. Tadas for his welcome address. Thank you, sir.
Dear friend, distinguished resource persons and participants, I extend my heartily welcome to all the participants for the various parts of the nation. The scope of the conference is multidisciplinary and is having wide dimension. The main objective of the organizing such event is to bring all the researchers at one common forum. The recent development in the field of science and technology stream have also changed the expectation of the users in many ways. Hence, there is greater responsibility on the part of academicians relating to the Faculty of Science and Technology studies conducted by the researchers would be useful to identify and adapt innovative and effective practices to meet demands of the users. I am sure that this conference will provide a platform of researchers, academicians, and science and technology professionals also hope that this conference will prove to be new beginning of new academic bonding for many and small contribution to academicians and nation. Once again, I welcome you all for the today's National E-Conference on Interdisciplinary Recent Research Trend. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your welcome address. Now I invite Honorable Shri Harshavardhanji Deshmukh Sahib, the former State Minister, the excellent political and social leader, and the President of our parent society, Shri Shivaji Education Society, Amravati, for his inaugural speech of the conference. Welcome, sir.
Good morning to you all. I am very happy to inaugurate this 2 days e-conference on Interdisciplinary Recent Research Trends, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Dr. R. Lahoti Science College, Morshi. Research is the base of all inventions. As we have been progressing rapidly, it is also required to undertake and go with the interdisciplinary research, as all branches of science are interrelated. In COVID-19 situation today, this need is prominently felt by us all. I therefore wish this conference my best wishes. I believe in order to fulfill Babasaheb Panjabrao Deshmukh's dream of excelling in providing quality education and research, our teachers will do their best. I wish them all the success. I congratulate the principal, Dr. R.G. Tadas, and his team of organizers for taking this opportunity to organize e-conference to reach out to the research lovers who have been staying at home due to COVID-19 pandemic. As the President of Shri Shivaji Education Society, I thank all the resource persons who are going to enlighten the participants of this conference through their deliberations. I also expect from our teachers that they will actually involve in the interdisciplinary research activities. Then only this conference will prove fruitful in the real sense of the word. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Your guidance and directions are always beneficial to us. Now moving to the next session, which covers the keynote address by Honorable Professor G.S. Khadekar, the Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Rashtrasant Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. Prior to hear his talk, may I now invite Dr. Kalpana Pawar, the convener of this conference, to introduce the keynote speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhande sir. Before I give the brief introduction of today's speaker, I, Dr. Kalpana Pawar, IQAC coordinator and convener of this event, welcome you all on behalf of Shri R. Lahoti Science College, Morshi. First of all, I would like to thank our President of Shri Shivaji Education Society, Amravati, Honorable Shri Harshavardhanji Deshmukh sir. Thank you, sir, for supporting us and sparing your valuable time with us for this event. Thank you once again from all the members of IQAC, Shri R. Lahoti Science College, Morshi. Now I introduce the speaker, that is keynote speaker, most enthusiastic personality and eminent scientist I give his brief introduction, but he merely needs his introduction. Many of us know him as a researcher and a good academician. Professor Govardhan Sakharam Khadekar, well known as Dr. G.S. Khadekar. He is the head department of mathematics, Nagpur, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He is the dean of faculty of science and technology, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He is born in 1962. His contact information everybody knows. He is head professor and head department of mathematics, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. His qualification is he did his BSc in 1983, MSc in 1985, MPhil in 1989, and awarded by PhD under the able guidance of Dr. T.M. Kardesar in General Theory of Relativity in 1991. Since then, he is a good academician, and his major achievements and nominations during the last 5 years are: he is professor and head department of mathematics, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur since from 2015. He is nominated as a member of Management Council, nominated by VC under the University Aid for the period of 1 year since February 2018 to August 2018. He is Dean Faculty of Science and Technology, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur from 2019. He is nominated as a member of Management Council as a Dean by VC for the period of 2.5 years since from 2018. He is the member of Academic Council as a Dean since 2018. Member of Board of Dean Council since 2018. Member of Secretary Board of Information and Technology since 2018. Member of Board Research Enterprise since 2018. Member of Knowledge and Resource Committee since 2018. Member of Board of Innovation, Incubation and Enterprise since 2018. Member of Life Learning and Extensions since 2018. Member of Board of Examinations, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur since from 2018. He is the Chairman, Faculty of Science and Technology, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He is the Chairman, Board of Studies, Mathematics, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He is the member of Board of Studies, Mathematics, YCCE, Autonomous College at Nagpur. He is the member of BOS of Mathematics, Bajaj Science College, Wardha. He is the Research Recognition. He is on Research Recognition Committee, RRC's member of other universities also, such as SGP Amravati University, Amravati, and SRTM Nanded University, Nanded. He is the member or secretary of selection of appointment of RTM Nagpur University teachers since from 2018. He is the chairman of all teaching staff of RTM Nagpur University Scrutiny Committee under CAS. He is the life member of various organizations such as Indian Society of Technical Education, New Delhi since 1993. He is the life member of Indian Academy of Mathematical Sciences, Indore. He is the life member of Indian Science Congress Association, Kolkata. He is the member IQAC, RTM Nagpur University since 2004 to 2009 and 2015 to 2017. He is the member of Infrastructure Monitoring Committee for NAC, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur since from 2018. He is the member of Statistical Cell, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He is the member of NAC peer team and visited at Sir Padmapat Singhania University, Bhatewar, Tehsil Vallabhnagar, District Udaipur on 17 to 19 February 2020. He is the coordinator of Online Centralized Admission Process, CAP, known as CAP, for various PG courses of RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. Then he is the chief coordinator of Exam Valuation Center since 2009 to 2013, and first time interacted with the search committee for the post of Vice Chancellor at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar University, Aurangabad at Mumbai on 30th June 2019. Also, he organized various committees or various international and national conferences, symposiums and workshops. To his credit, he being a convener and member of organizing committee, he had organized international conferences or events as ICR in 2005, ICMS in 2012, ICRAM 2014, ICAPCM in 2020. Also at national events, NSMS in 2001, National Seminar in 2004, CTGR in 2019 being a convener. Also he organized National Workshop on Latex in 2007 and NWMS in 2017 as a convener. Other events which has been organized by Sir are National Science Day, National Mathematics Day, National Science Week for the students of mathematics and other faculties also. And he served many responsibilities in national and international events such as for the national conferences, symposiums, seminars, participated and conferences. He has participated in international conferences 10 times. He has been invited as an invited guest speaker for abroad international conferences 7 times. Inland international conferences, invited speaker for 12 times. Also for national conferences, symposiums, seminars, participations are 55 times, and national conferences, symposiums, seminars, invited speaker for 24 times. Workshops which has been organized by him are international 2, national 6, 8 times, and the chairing of technical sessions at national and international level events are 20 times, and various extension activities has been performed by him, NMD and NDS, etc. These are some responsible positions which he has been there in the various university level activities. Now we come to the research area because it's the main area of interest for all the delegates. So in research, he research publications. So to his credit, there are 65 international research papers which has been published in the international journals with high impact factor. 15 research papers has been published at national journals with high impact factor. Various articles have been published in conference proceedings and books and chapters also. Now if I see the profile of publications of Sir, if I see citations, H-index, I-index, articles. So Google Scholar data, citations are 329, H-index are 11, I-index are 12, articles published by him are 87. Scopus data, citations are 190, H-index 8, I-index 7, articles 51. The ResearchGate, that is RG score, is citation 90, H-index 5 and articles are 30, which is the score higher than 72.5% of all the ResearchGate members. Also he is having his scientific ID of authorships, which is useful for linking for Scopus. To his credit, he has been awarded and recognized by 3 national awards. Also he has been invited as a technical speaker or guest speaker in the international level 12 times, national level 18 times, state and regional level 2 times, institutional level 2 times. So in all total 36 times he has been invited as a guest speaker. In the editorial board membership, at international level, he is a reviewer also. He is having 3 international journal reviewer. He is for 1 national journal reviewer. So total 4 times, 4 different reviewers. Then chairman and guest as a guest speaker is 7 times for international level, 10 times for national level, 3 times for state level. Advisory board membership for national level 2 times. Research projects and others to his credit are, there are two minor research projects completed by him, which are the minor research projects under UGC unassigned grant New Delhi, and minor research project under University Research Project Scheme for 3 lakhs plus 2,70,000. Again, two minor research projects has been completed as a minor research project from international agencies such as Turkish Science Academy Turkey and Shahid Honor University Karmir Iran. The funds received by him, or funds received through him from the DST at level 1, 70 lakhs from DST New Delhi India grant, and special assistant SAP, that is special assistant program SAP DRS level 2 has been received received by through him is 68.5 lakhs for next 5 years from 2018 to 2023. So this is the overall achievement. Also, he has some research collaboration with national and international publishers. So international level collaborations established for facilities and joint publications are 4. Research projects are 2. Then national level collaborations established for facilities and joint publications are 3. Research collaborations are with, we have seen these collaborations mainly with Iran, Turkey, Italy. So sir has many other events which has been organized by the sir in collaboration to other countries. So this is the overall achievements by the sir, and we are very fortunate that sir has accepted our invitation, and today we can listen him. So I would like to thank on behalf of Shri R.R. Lahoti Science College, Morshi, and in person also to the sir for accepting our invitation, and I invite him for the keynote address. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir, for the keynote address.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. G.S. Khadekar, Professor and Head Department of Mathematics, Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur, and Dean Faculty of Science and Technology, Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I am very much thankful to the organizer who gave me this opportunity for delivering the talk on the topic Interdisciplinary Recent Research Trend. This topic is very difficult for me, but Kalpana Pawar knows that I am working in the general theory of relativity and cosmology. That is the topic related to the physics, and on the basis of that, maybe she invite me for this webinar. Before starting the webinar, I just salute the Shivaji Section Honorable Chairman of the Shivaji Education Society, Amravati, Shri Harshvardhan Deshmukhji, Principal of the College, R.R. Lahoti Science College, Morshi, Dr. G.R. Tadas, Convener of the program and IQSA Coordinator, Dr. Kalpana Pawar, my dear all participant of this webinar, teacher, researcher, and my dear student. Today I am going to talk on the very different issue. The theme of the topic of today's webinar is interdisciplinary recent research trend. So it is a very difficult topic for me, but I will try to speak something about that one. So what are the problems in the interdisciplinary research trend nowadays? and what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of this topic. Before giving the lectures, before delivering my talk, I am just show that this my slides is very different, and that different. I talked to yesterday Pravar madam related to that concept. Before talking of the interdisciplinary research trend, I just talk on the overcoming challenges in online research, teaching, and learning. So these are the very different scenario and very needed scenario nowadays uh, in the teaching and learning process. Being the man of mathematics as well as working in the field of physics, I know that some slogan of the Albert Einstein because I am working on the theory of general theory of relativity of Einstein, special theory of relativity of Einstein, some alternative theories of gravitations and so on. So Einstein quoted a very important slogan that is, a person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. So this is a very important thing. If you are not doing any mistakes, you don't do that for anything. And the important thing is not to stop the questioning. This today's scenario, just I will exchange my views and then we talk on the overcoming challenges in online research and training. Before that, we see that one. We go to the interdisciplinary research train. We just slide together about we just focus on the overcoming challenges in online research, teaching and learning. What are the challenges nowadays in online research? Challenge online overcoming challenges in online research, teaching and learning. What are the advantages of the online research? What are the advantage of the online teaching? What are the advantage of the online learning? And what are the simultaneously disadvantage too? So these are the very important concept nowadays, and we are going to adopt that one. You know that when the British Empire came in the India, at that time the Indian people doesn't know about the tea, चहा आपल्याला माहित नव्हता. We don't know about the tea. And that the Indian Empire, British peoples is forced to the tea, Indian people. You know, you take the tea, and they say in the morning tea, we take the evening tea also, and then the Indian people is habituated for these things. So similarly, I am telling about that one. Nowadays, this is the need of the due to the Corona or COVID-19. This is the need today's need of online teaching and learning. Maybe your next session will be start by using this concept that is online teaching and learning process. So I am just telling about the little bit 10 to 15 minutes I just take about challenges in the online learning and online teaching and how to do the online research also, because nowadays the online research is very important. You don't go directly to the with the institute. We don't go we don't we don't go personally. It is not, nowadays it is not possible. But online teaching, suppose that you are in this place and your colleague or your author or your mentor or whatever it may be, your collaborator, maybe in the different location, then you can easily do the research online also. Now you see here the very important things in the higher education. Indian higher education system. India's higher education system is the world third largest in terms of the student, next to China and United States. This is very important things. Indian higher education system is a very big education system in the world. You say that it is the third in the as per the number is concerned. In future, India will be one of the largest education hub. India's higher education sector has witnessed a tremendous increase in the number of the universities or university level institutions and colleges since independence. So these are the very important things that I'm going to share with you. Although there have been a lot of challenges to the higher education systems of India, but equally have a lot of opportunity to overcome these challenges and to make higher education system much better. In the higher education system again, India provides highly skilled people to other countries. You know that maximum people come from maximum people taking the higher educations in Indian education system, and they will go abroad. They will settle abroad. They will just use our skill in the abroad. The same thing as India provide highly skilled peoples to the other countries, and therefore it is very easy for India to transfer our country from a developing nation to the developed nation. So we are going to develop still today in the underdeveloping, but this time is very you know that we can easily go from developing nation to the developed nation due to the education policy of Indian system, Indian education system. How the online education, online learning, online teaching to highlight the challenges and to point out the opportunity in higher education system in India. So these are the questions. Now, I told that what is online learning? What are the advantages of the online learning? What are the disadvantages of the online learning? Why online learning we are going to adopt? These are the things. So that I am just going to share in short. The advantages and challenges in teaching and learning is an online environment. So that is the very important things. These are the advantages of challenge and learning in the online. Advantages and challenges in the teaching and the learning is an online environment. My dear participant, what is the online learning? This is a very important and very simple terminology. Very simple definitions I am going to share with you. The term online or the term distance learning include the number of computer assisted interactive method. So it includes the number of computers. So if you see the online terminology, it means that you are in the one locations, the other persons on the other location, but through the internet, through the computer. So these are the different types of systems that is called the online system, distance learning system. It includes a number of computer assisted interactive method. Online teaching and learning is the faculty delivered instruction via internet. This is a very simple definition. Online teaching and learning is the faculty delivered instruction via internet. So this simple terminology we are going to use in nowadays. We are going to use in future also, because this is the need of the today's scenario. This is the need of the today's scenario. Two parallel processes take place in the online learning. Number one, students become more active and more reflective learner. So see here, due to this online process, the student become more active and more reflective learner. Similarly, student and teacher are engaged in learning through the use of technology and become more familiar by using it. So you just see here, I just put a very simple example. I have the mobile, but I am not using a maximum feature of the mobile. But my daughter, she is very small, and she is using that one thoroughly. She knows each and every aspect of this, or each and every configurations, or each and every points inside the mobile. So the question is that how that people will be understand as compared to the we our old people. The problem is they are very smart. They know the technology very well as compared to we people. They know the technology very in a good sense as compared to the we people, and that's why. So adoptions of or exception adoptions, or we adopt this terminology, we adopt this online learning systems nowadays very important. So this is the one thing. Advantages of the online education. It is a very simple thing. There are so many advantages, but I just quote only three. Easy access to global resources. learning through the multimedia presentation. Number one, easy access to the global resources. We can easily access the global resources. You are in one location, your co-author will be on the other location, or your collaborator will be on the other location, and you can easily do the online learning, online teaching, online research, and this is easy accessible nowadays due to internet process, due to computer, and due to the new technology adopted by we people. Learning through the learning through the multimedia presentation, accessible for non-traditional students. And nowadays, more and more students are interested in the online learning. So these are the simple 4 advantages of the online learning system, or online education, online teaching, and online research system. Now you see here advantages of the online learning again. There are some another advantages. Number one, they change from passive to the active learner. So these are the one of the best advantages. They change from passive to the active learner. Online education is able to provide learner with flexible learning environment from any location as they have good internet connectivity. If there is a good internet connectivity, then you can easily do that one online education system. So online education is able to provide learners with flexible learning environment from any location as they have the good internet connection. So these are very important things. Internet connection is very good, and if it is not, then the online learning system, online education systems may be likely to be failure. And the third point is very important. This education system is very low cost basis system. Online degree program cost is less than the campus based degree program cost, because you can do your degree, you can take your degree in online process. So there is not necessary to come to the campus. There is not necessary to come to the education place. Just you interact to each and every one through online, and therefore, and only because of that, the cost of that is very less. It means if you take the online degree program, then the cost is very less as compared to the campus degree program. So this is a very big advantage of the online learning system. But on the same way, there are some disadvantages. Now, what are the disadvantages? I quoted only 3 here. Number one, lack of accreditation and low quality. So that you can easily understand. So lack of accreditations and the low quality. Number two, little or no face-to-face interaction. As a man of mathematics, and when I start the learning or teaching through online process, being the man of mathematics, it is not possible for me, because in some subject, in some areas, online learning is not too much important, or too much we can say it is no, we don't get some advantages from that one, because the subject like mathematics, if you start the learning or if you teach the learning of mathematics subject, mathematical equations on the board, then you student easily understand. For example, we can take the any equations, linear equation, differential equation, equations of the complex equation, that is a complex number or whatever it may be. And if you see the simple differential equation, and when you solve the differential equations on the board, the eye of the student and the hand of the teachers are simultaneously going on the board, and the student is watching your hand as well as the expressions, whatever it may be, you just put up on the board or you write on the board. This interactions is very important in online teaching, but particularly importance in the offline teaching, in particular subject like mathematics. So in mathematics, it is very difficult, but nowadays the people can do that one. But research is possible, because you know that the research terminology you know each and everything about that one, and then you can collaborate with the other people. He say that we do in that way, then accordingly we can develop our model in the sense of research, in the model of the research can possible, because one party and another party, both the party knows that one what is the communication between these two one, and therefore the research, some higher learning is also possible in some extent, not in the every extent, but in some extent is possible. But nowadays this is the need, and therefore we are going to adopt the online teaching. So another disadvantage is intense requirement for self-discipline. So this is a very important disadvantage. Some advantages is okay, but some disadvantages is also there. But three very important challenges in the online teaching. Number one, effectively structuring online courses. So we can easily, these are the very important challenge, because when you go on the online teaching or online learning, we have to design the course very effectively structuring online courses, creating community in the virtual classroom. So the concept of the virtual classroom nowadays comes in the picture from in this century. But virtual classroom is okay. You can just, you are in the Nagpur or you are in the different location, and the person is doing some class in the another location. You can easily access that one, creating community in the virtual classroom. So these are the very important challenge before the online teaching or online learning. Facilitating and encouraging online discussion. This is very important. Facilitating and discussing the online discussion. And then challenges for the instructor also: familiarity with the online environment, capacity to use the medium to its advantage, being available to the student on an extended basis electronically. This is a very important challenge before the instructor, providing quick response and feedback to the students. So these are some challenges before the teacher, before the instructor, and these challenges is undercomes in the online teaching learning process. Difficulties can be overcome by employing such technique. Become familiar with the technology used in your online courses. We are very. This is very important. Difficulties. Become familiar with the technology used in your online courses. So this is very difficult for the senior person. Use online medium to your advantage and keep connected with the students. So these are the difficulties can be overcome by the employing such techniques. And lastly, I just conclude that one, but this is the conclusion of my overcoming challenges in the online learning. And after that, we just start the main approach, main themes, today's themes about the interdisciplinary recent research trend. So the conclusions is through the online education, people can have access to the educational program from the best university in India and abroad. You can easily access, and from your home you can easily access to the best university in India and abroad. People can save their time and study at the time which is most convenient from them. We can easily save our time, your money, your transport, and all these things. Regarding the foreign language, people can find a teacher from different countries in the world and take a lesson at the most suitable time from them without leaving home. So this third point is very important, because in some country they are using his own language. For example, China, for example, Japan, for example, Russia, they are not using English. And so even Germany also, if you go to the Germany, Japan, because I visited several countries, so I know that if you go to the country, then the most important thing is that the language problem. So to go to that country for the business purpose, for the employment purpose, for the student, as a researcher, to go to these types of country, the language is a very important factor. But nowadays it is very simple. You can learn, you can teach, or you can access that types of language from the different location, from the different countries, from the different teachers, from the different mentor. And this is possible through the online process. And thank you for listening me the very different topic. And now I'm going to jump on the main topic, today's topic of the webinar. Maybe that topic was boring for you because I am not so expert in the interdisciplinary, but I did my work in the interdisciplinary scenario because I am working in the mathematics. I am the teacher of mathematics and I'm working in the field of general theory of relativity and cosmology. This is a branch of physics. I know the classical mechanics. Being the man of mathematics, I know the engineering side also because I am coming here from the engineering. I know I was 12-year teacher in the engineering background. So I know the applied mathematics also. I know the pure mathematics also. I know the applied physics also. So that's why this topic is a little bit simple for me. But I am not very much expert in this interdisciplinary research. But I am doing some papers in the collaborations with the another people, those who are in the different background. But that is the applied physics or applied chemistry also. So today we are discussing about this very important aspect, that is interdisciplinary ascent research trade. This is today's topic, challenging for me. Before that one, I just elaborate some definitions because interdisciplinary connected to the number of definitions, number of areas. For example, interdisciplinary is related to the intradisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, then transdisciplinary. There are several definitions and each and every is interconnected. For example, intradisciplinary. This is a very simple definition. That is, intradisciplinary means what? Working within a single discipline. So if you work within a single discipline, then it is the intradisciplinary. I will just put some example in my next slide. Then you can easily understand what is the interdisciplinary. Another thing is the cross-disciplinary. Cross-disciplinary means viewing one discipline from the perspective of another. So just the cross, the viewing one discipline from perspective of the another. So you can cross it. So this is the concept of the cross-discipline. Means one discipline cross to the another discipline. So you make it the cross-disciplinary. Multidisciplinary is the branch. These are that is physics, chemistry, mathematics, economics, social science, social science. These are all types of combinations. That is, people from different disciplines working together. There are people from the different discipline. The people from the different discipline working together, each drawing on their disciplinary knowledge. So these are the very important aspect that is called multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary means you just take the combinations of all types of subject. You can take physics, you can take geology, you can take microbiology, you can take biochemistry, biotechnology, the all types of discipline, even the subject from the art, even the subject of the commerce, even the subject from the engineering side, even the subject from the medical side. You can just see these types of discipline, the people from the different subject in different discipline working together. And that concept is, and we get it something new. We get it something new with the combinations of that discipline. That is called multidisciplinary aspect. And then the very important thing, this is today's topic, that is interdisciplinary. What is the interdisciplinary? Interdisciplinary is the integrating knowledge and method from different disciplines using a real synthesis of approach. That is, integrating knowledge and methods from different disciplines. We can take the knowledge and some methods from the discipline. For example, I am a mathematician and I just take the tool of physics. I just take the tool of chemistry. I just take the concept of the thermodynamics of the chemistry in my result. So we are doing this result. We are doing this research in the sense of interdisciplinary nature. Means I just adopt some new concept. I just adopt. For example, I am working in mathematics and I am just doing the Hubble relations. That is, Hubble is the concept of the Hubble parameter, the concept of the fluid dynamics, the concept of the mechanics, the concept of the any other thermodynamics. These are from the different discipline we can adopt. Quantum theory is there. We can take the concept of the different discipline and related to my mathematical concept, we can form the new things, we can develop the new things, we can develop the new area by using this concept. This is under the interdisciplinary nature. Now you see the process. This is a very important chart I am going to share with you. Maybe you can understand. In the first horizontal line, I just take the disciplinary research process. What are the disciplinary research process and what are the interdisciplinary research process? In the disciplinary research process, topic or research question is the first thing. Then we jump to the literature review. This is the disciplinary because we are working in the same discipline. You see, if you are working in the same discipline, then in this process, the topic or research question is the first thing, then literature review, then research design, then data collection, analysis and interpretation. This is under disciplinary research process, and then dissemination. So disseminations means publicity. We can say the prasar. We can say the disseminations means topic research question, literature review, research design, data collection, analysis and interpretation, and then dissemination. But in the interdisciplinary research process, little bit is different. What is that one? The topic of research question is same as compared to disciplinary research areas. But in place of the literature review, here is integrative literature review. It is not the literature review because literature review in the same discipline is different. But if you jump to the interdisciplinary, then it is the integrative literature review. This is very important. So integrating literature review is the little bit difference as compared to the disciplinary research process. In the interdisciplinary research process, this concept is come, that is integrative literature review, not the only literature review, it is integrated literature review. In the disciplinary research process, research design is there, but in the interdisciplinary research process, one thing is very added, new thing is very added before the research design, and that is called new understanding. Because integrative literature review connected to the new understanding, because here you get it the new understanding. In the disciplinary research, we don't get new understanding. You get the subject knowledge. You get it the same subject knowledge. But when you jump in the interdisciplinary research process, you get the new understanding. So this is the very important role of the interdisciplinary areas, interdisciplinary research process. Then you can see that the research design, this is also in the disciplinary research, and this is also in the interdisciplinary research process. Data collection, analysis and interpretation is also there, and dissemination is also there. So what are the new things we have to add? So two things very important. Number one, integrative literature review. This is added in the interdisciplinary research process, and new understanding. So you can easily understand from this process. So what is the difference between the disciplinary research process and the interdisciplinary research process? So you can easily understand. It's just a simple mathematical block I am writing. I am just putting here, and by using the simple mathematical block, you can easily understand this 5 blocks in the disciplinary research process and 6 blocks in the interdisciplinary research process. So only mathematically 2 blocks is increases. One is integrative literature review, and another is new understanding. This is the 2 different block, different square, different entries in the interdisciplinary research process. Other thing is as it is. There is nothing new. Means you can say that this is the process, disciplinary research process, and this is the interdisciplinary research process. Next. I just see here again. Interdisciplinary research process. So there are the In the interdisciplinary, there are the three different areas: discipline A, discipline B, discipline C. In this, I just quoted one thing. So, what the under the discipline A is written? Disciplinary insight based on the data produced through disciplinary methods. So, this is the all things is given in the same way. That is disciplinary insight based on data produced through disciplinary method. So discipline A, disciplinary B, and discipline C. These are the three disciplines connected to the integrative literature review that I have told in the previous slide. If you go in the previous slide, this is the integrative literature review. And this integrated literature review is connected here, integrated literature. So this three different discipline is connected to the integrated literature review, evaluating and integrating the insight from disciplines A, discipline B, and discipline C. I told that in the previous slide. So new understanding comes in the picture. So the new understanding means what? The new understanding means new concept or new question. New understanding means it is a new concept or new question. New conceptual framework, theory, model. For example, nowadays I am working in the general theory of relativity, but I am working in the fractal theory. This is a new theory, fractal theory. So new theory is developed by somebody, but it is connected to the fractal. And then I just use this fractal theory in my terminology, and I just produce some Einstein field equation in a different way. Means Einstein given the field equation, having left hand side is the geometry and the right hand side is the matter. In between that, there is a one factor comes in the picture, and just I introduce that one in my theory. So we get it the interdisciplinary nature work. So I got it this result in the interdisciplinary way because I just put up this area from quantum physics. I just take this area from the quantum physics and I include in my general theory of relativity in the pure physics or pure applied physics or mathematical physics, and then I get it the new equation of the Einstein. So that's why in the interdisciplinary nature, so new concept or question, new conceptual framework, theory or model we can introduce, new methodological tool. This is a very important thing. We can introduce the new methodological tool in your concept because in disciplinary nature, in disciplinary process, all things is in the same subject. But when I introduce the new one, then you can adopt the new understanding. Then you can adopt the new method. Then you can adopt the new theory. Then you can adopt the new framework. And then lastly, the new end product. Then we get it this product. And then you connect it to the research design. This is the process. Then again you jump to the original discipline, the research design with new data collection through qualitative, quantitative or mixed method. So what is the research design? Our research design will be totally mixed. It is not a simple, it is not a disciplinary design. It is an interdisciplinary research design. So you get it the interdisciplinary design, you get it the new interdisciplinary research design in the literature, and you get it the new one means you get it the new method, you get it the new terminology, you get it the new product through the interdisciplinary nature work. And maybe it is useful to the society, maybe it is useful to the human being. So nowadays, what is the research we are doing? We are doing the research just for searching the problem. This is my terminology about the research is that when I do the research, we are not doing actually research. That I am just telling in a simple way. I am publishing the paper. How I am publishing the paper? What types of quality of my paper? What types of quality of the paper? We don't say that. I am not blaming that. Some quality of paper is also there. But our teacher, we having some not enough time to do the research. We are doing the teaching work. We have the teaching work. Simultaneously, we are doing the research also. In that case, what we are doing? We are just doing a very simple way. We are just doing a searching the problem. We search the problem, we elaborate the problem, we write the problem in the different methodology, we write the problem in the different frame of reference, and then we publish the paper. But if you see, we can add, we can insert, So new technique, we can add the new terminology, we can add the new discipline, then you get it the new product, and that is under interdisciplinary research process or interdisciplinary nature. That product will be in the interdisciplinary nature product. So just here the another things I am going to share with you. This is also one of the definition, that is interdisciplinary and interdisciplinary. I just quoted that one. In a simple, maybe it is visible for you or not, I don't know. But it is a first picture is I am just drawing here. That is the geography. Under the geography, there are several subjects. For example, geography, then ocean geography, biogeography, environmental geography, geophysical information system, remote sensing. These are all under the geography. I'm sorry, it is a geography, not a geography, it is a geography. I'm very sorry to say. It is under the geography. Under the geography, we say that these are the topics, and in the geography, we if you see, these are the subject, that is one subject related to the other, but inside the subject. This is the interdisciplinary area. This is interdisciplinary subject. And if your geography is connected to the physics, geography is connected to the chemistry, geography is connected to the mathematics, then botany, then zoology, then economy, you see the scenario. Then you entered in the interdisciplinary area. Then you entered in the, you connect the geography to the physics, to the chemistry problem, to the mathematics problem, to the zoology problem, to the whole science or engineering problem. Then we can easily understand the difference between the intradisciplinary and the interdisciplinary. You can internally, this is the subject in internal. Geography is all internal subject, that is called intradisciplinary. But if you connect with the physics, if you connect with the chemistry, if you connect with the mathematics and all the basic sciences or the humanities or the engineering sciences or engineering topics, then you entered into interdisciplinary areas. So these are the simple chart. Maybe you can understand what is the interdisciplinary and what is the interdisciplinary. I just show you that one in a simple way in the next slide. This is the disciplinary. This is the disciplinary. This is multidisciplinary. This is the interdisciplinary, and this is the transdisciplinarity. You should see the disciplinary. In the disciplinary, componentization, disciplinary community, self-reaction, this under the disciplinary nature. Multidisciplinarity means shared topic, communication, juxtaposed positions of the perspectives and autonomy. And interdisciplinary means interdisciplinarity is connected to the integrations of disciplinary insight, corporations, and interdependence. And transdisciplinarity means problem solving, implementation, collaborations between the academic institution and other actors. So these are the some simple things about that one. But you can again clear this in the next slide. This is the transdisciplinary disciplinarity, creating a unity of intellectual framework beyond the disciplinary perspective. Now just see here, transdisciplinary is one of the subject, one of the definitions again under this disciplinary nature, that is creating a unity of intellectual framework beyond the disciplinary perspective. So this is a very important thing. And now see the interconnection in the next slide. This is the difference. So whatever it may be I talk in the previous slide, you can easily understand in this small mathematical figure. I just draw a simple mathematical figure. In a first circle, only one single paper, one single subject, that is called intradisciplinary. If you jump to the second circle, these are the number of subjects. and a number of subject, the people from the different disciplines doing the work, that is called multidisciplinary. So the people from single disciplinary, that is called interdisciplinary. People from multidisciplinary, that you can see in the next figure, that is multidisciplinary approach. If you see the figure of the third circle, that is called cross-disciplinary. You see the cross-disciplinary. In the cross-disciplinary, all the subject taken together. Just something we can share from A, from B, from physics, from chemistry, from biochemistry, from zoology, from botany, from economics, from social science, and other things. So these are all interconnected in the cross-disciplinary. But if you go to the interdisciplinary, now you can understand what is interdisciplinary. So interdisciplinary is the subject is connected to the all mixture of multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary. These are all these things that is under the interdisciplinary. So you can easily understand from the fourth circle, interdisciplinary, what are the interdisciplinary, what is the subject, and the last, transdisciplinary. And what is the transdisciplinary? You again jump, you again enters, you again rigorously doing the work of the interdisciplinary in the sense that you get in the mixture of that one, and that is called the transdisciplinary. So you just see, you can easily understand the definition of interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, interdisciplinary, and the transdisciplinary. Next one, interdisciplinary approach. So interdisciplinary approach has become an important and challenging technique in the modern curriculum. So this is a very important aspect I'm going to share with you. Interdisciplinary approach has become an important and challenging technique in the modern curriculum. Interdisciplinary approach synthesizes more than one discipline. You can easily understand in the previous slide, and create a team of researcher, team of teacher and student that enrich the overall educational experience. So interdisciplinary approach synthesizes more than one discipline. It creates a team of researcher, team of teacher and student that enrich the overall educational experience. Many researchers find many advantages as well as disadvantages of interdisciplinary studies. There are several advantages as well as disadvantages also. So we just focus on the advantages and slightly focus on the disadvantages of the interdisciplinary studies. Student education has suffered the inferior pedagogy of traditional methodology that concentrates specifically on only one discipline. So these are the disciplinary approach, and we can jump to the advantages of the interdisciplinary studies or interdisciplinary research, interdisciplinary education, interdisciplinary teaching. The interdisciplinary approach provides many benefits that develop into much needed lifelong learning skills that are essential to the students' future learnings. So interdisciplinary approach provides many benefits that develop into much needed lifelong learning skill. It is a lifelong learning skill that are essential in the today's scenario. Today, the interdisciplinary approach is a key concept to the advancement of colleges, universities, curriculum at all level. It is very important. It has now become debated, but the question is that it is an issue of debate. It has now become debated as to whether an interdisciplinary approach is the best in research or in the course curriculum. So this is a question. It is the best or not, that we decide. If this approach is best in research, yes, I say that this approach is best in research. This approach is best in the curriculum, yes, I say that best in the curriculum, because CBCS, choice-based credit system, choice-based credit system, we are adopting the choice-based credit system. The choice-based credit system is the part of interdisciplinary approach. So we are going to do that one nowadays. So this is very things. It is a debatable part, but student can understand. Student can learn the new discipline as compared to his own discipline. For example, the student is taking the courses of the engineering degree course. In engineering degree course, this course is of, as per the AICT rule, this course having fixed credit, that is 160 credit. So by taking the 160 credit, as per the AICT, student get the degree from any university in India. But apart from that, if student will adopt, accept or take some new courses, some new credits, that is called some another credit from the other subject. For example, I am taking the degree of computer science, information and technology, for example, and I am taking some another credit of the civil engineering. So this another credit is the minor course, and the major course is his own degree of civil engineering. So whatever it may be, means suppose that your degree will be in the computer science, and you are taking the course of the civil engineering. So this minor degree civil engineering program is connected to the major degree of the computer science program. So you get it 2 degree, major degree and a minor degree, and that is under interdisciplinary. So this approach is very important in future also, by taking the different types of knowledge in the different areas. So interdisciplinary approach is very important in nowadays in the CBCS systems also. Though it has many advantages such as expanding student understanding and achievement between all disciplines, or enhancing communication skill. But at the same time, there are some disadvantages. So disadvantages is such that integration confusion and time-consuming curriculum preparation. Integration, confusion, and time-consuming curriculum preparation. So these are the one of the disadvantages. Interdisciplinary approach is uniquely different from the multidisciplinary approach. I'm sorry. Interdisciplinary approach is uniquely different from the multidisciplinary approach. That I already shown in one of the slide. What is the themes of the interdisciplinary approach? What is the theme of the multidisciplinary approach? Interdisciplinary programs involves mathematics. Now we jump being the mathematics, and how the mathematics will be connected to the other areas of other subject in the interdisciplinary way. What is the use of mathematics in other areas? Why mathematics is important in the other areas? Being the man of mathematics, I just focus the subject mathematics. If I am the man of physics, then I will definitely focus the physics. But you see, this subject I just learned from the childhood. You know that how the mathematics comes in your life. What is the importance of the mathematics in your life, and how the mathematics is connected to the other areas in the other field. That is very important. So first is, what is mathematics? I am not telling about that one. What is mathematics? Then there is a very big questions with me before me. So I am not telling out what is mathematics. It is a mathematics. Ganit. Ganitiya Sutra. That is part of mathematics. Mathematics occupies a very important position in the modern world. It plays a vital role in technical profession and latest research. It is a tool rather than a discipline. It is the main ingredient of any finished good in pure science and applied science. The pure science and applied science is connected to the mathematics. In any branch of science, in any level, we can use mathematics. If you go in chemistry, we use mathematics. If you go in physics, we use mathematics. If you go in biological sciences, we use mathematics. So it is a branch. It is a subject. It is such types of discipline. It is a main ingredient. It is a main ingredient in science. I know I don't have somebody say that the mathematics is a queen of all sciences, or mathematics is a king of all sciences. I don't know what is king or queen. But this is the main ingredient. It is a main ingredient of all disciplines. Importance of mathematics. Mathematics is the common language of any other discipline. Students should learn this language to understand the concept used in those disciplines. Students should connect their mathematical learning to appropriate real-world context. So I'm not just going details about the mathematics, but how the mathematics is connected to the other sciences. That I am going to share with you. Importance of mathematics in other sciences, in other science subject is very important, because we are also doing the work in mathematics, but I am just connected to the physics. So we are using physical knowledge, we are using physical concept and use differential equation or pure mathematics in that physical sense, or in physics also. So that is a very important thing. Mathematical tools have allowed many advances in the present time. Following are some areas which own to mathematics for a great extent. Modern technologies in medicine, recent developments in communication. So mathematics is a subject, it is useful in medicine also. It is useful in the communications also. Nowadays, due to the COVID-19, the mathematicians giving some models. I have also prepared a model, mathematical model of the coronavirus. It is a mathematical model. I just control. I am not saying that okay, I am giving some disease. No, I am giving model. I am giving mathematical model on the corona. What are the model of the corona? What are the mathematical model of the corona? So the concept is that by using algebraic equation, by using the differential equation, how to control the corona, how to control the people affected from the coronas. So that we can do it statistically, mathematically. So this model is also very important, because in that case we are using the interdisciplinary nature and we are using the mathematical tool to develop the new themes related to the uh, corona sufferers. Next is that this is useful in the engineering also. That is fast growing of engineering. Most of the mathematics classrooms are boring. So that I told that mathematics is a very boring subject also. But if you read mathematics, you can't understand. But if you write mathematics, you can understand. So there is some things is very important. Read mathematics. Mathematics is not the subject of reading. Mathematics is the subject of writing and then reading. First write, then read. Or vice versa, read, but write is important. Writing is important in mathematics. Students either hate mathematics or fear it. The blame for this flight is partly to the teacher and the rest of the curriculum. So we are blaming to the curriculum. We are blaming to the teacher. अरे हमें वो mathematics का class समझता नहीं. We don't understand the class. It is important that if a teacher is boring or the curriculum is boring. So both the things is correlated. The student get no interest in studying this subject because neither the teacher nor the syllabus point of the practical use of the prescribed portion. So this is a very important things, because student either hate mathematics or fear it. We hate mathematics. It doesn't mean that you don't understand mathematics. Sometimes people don't understand. The people who are going on the biological sciences, they say that we hate mathematics. The people going on the engineering side, they say that we like mathematics. So this is the concept of the mathematics, but mathematics is connected to the all branches. So how that one I'm just sharing with you. What is the remedy? Highlight the fact that all the sorts of the simple everyday material offer great scope for the variety of interesting and mathematical rich activities. Make connection between the abstract mathematical ideas and the everyday material world. May link between the new ideas and related ideas learned previously. Help students to see mathematics as a unified body of knowledge whose concepts build upon each other. Give emphasis to ideas and concept across mathematical contents areas that help students see the mathematics is a web of closely connected ideas. So these are the some remedy about the mathematics. But you just see the case study. I just did some case studies. You can easily understand the case studies of the of mathematics, how the mathematics is there. The subject I write in the one column, number of student pass in the another column, and a percentage of pass on the third column. So if you see the English, the number of student pass 9, and percentage of the passing is 27.3. But if you see the mathematics, the last column, last row, the number of student pass 6, the percentage is 18.2. So this is a case study of the mathematics. But mathematics is a very interesting subject. You don't be hate mathematics in future too. Mathematics and physics. That's I'm going to tell you. Okay, how the mathematics is connected to the physics and why it is a part of the interdisciplinary. Physics is related with mathematics to a great extent. Mathematical efficiency gives more confidence to learner of physics. Each rule and principle in physics takes mathematical form, and mathematics give them their financial. So without mathematics, physics is nothing, and without nothing, mathematics. Without mathematics is nothing. So each rule and principle in physics takes mathematical form, and mathematics gives them their financial. This is a very important concept. Mathematical calculations occurs at every step in physics. You can see here, you go derive the physical formulas. A mathematical step, mathematical calculations definitely occurs. The law of motion, friction, expansion of solids, liquid pressure, and explained using mathematics. You see here, law of motion is also used mathematics. Law of friction, we use mathematics. Law of expansion, solid. All these things we can explain by using the mathematical tool and mathematics only. All the measurement in physics need mathematics. So all types of measurements in physics, we need mathematics. So mathematics is the best subject to interconnected to any branch of science. Mathematics and physics, the coefficient of linear expansions of different metals, cubical expansion of liquid, expansion of gases, and conversions of scales are calculated using mathematics. The most important equations of mechanics, astronomy, and the physical sciences are differential or integral equation, both outgrowth of calculus. In its early period of invention, quantum mechanics used an enormous amount of mathematics from the special function to the modern algebra. So mathematics and physics is really connected to each other, but other subject is also connected to this. This is mathematics biology. Modern biology needs mathematics is a great amount. The life science will be for mathematics in the forthcoming century. What physics was for the mathematics in the previous century. New exciting challenges in the life sciences can add are being met using mathematical modeling with the direct impact on improving the people quality of their life, health, social and ecological issues. So biological mathematics is a very important concept nowadays. So in the corona, we are using the biological model because we are taking the help of biological people, we are taking the help of the biotechnological people, and we are framing the mathematical model on the corona. So when we do that one, it means that you are entered in the interdisciplinary areas of interdisciplinary area. These are the some subject related to mathematics. Simple mathematics in biology, biomathematics, biochemistry, mathematics engineering, mathematics agriculture, mathematics economics, mathematical knowledge in applied in the history of known dates, time, etc., various historical events. These are connected to the mathematics, commerce of mathematics, mathematical of physical sciences, mathematics of economics. So these are all these things, it is interconnected. Maybe my dear participant, you can understand what is the interdisciplinary nature. Maybe I hope you understand. I will not take more time because Kalpana madam gives me a very 50 minutes. Maybe it is over that one. I crossed 50 minutes or maybe I don't know. But I'm very much thankful to the Kalpana Pawar who give me this opportunity to deliver my talk before you. And I'm just sharing my views. I'm really thankful to all the participants, those who are listening me properly, hearing me properly. And thank you very much. Online education is a process by which a person's body, mind, and character are formed and strengthened. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to all. I am Dr. Sheetal Pare, Assistant Professor in Zoology, here to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of Shri R.R. Lahoti Science College, Morshi. I express my sincere gratitude towards today's Chief Patron, Honorable Shri Harshavardhanji Deshmukh, President Shri Shivaji Education Society, Amravati, for his constant support and inspiration to organize such an event. I am grateful to today's resource person, Honorable Professor G.S. Khadekar, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur, for accepting our invitation from his busy schedule and sharing his valuable time by giving precious comments on today's situation and solution to overcome the difficulties arrived in our teaching and research due to COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you, sir. I would like to express my sincere thanks towards Honorable Principal Dr. G.R. Tadas sir for his constant and admirable guidance to organize this event. I am very much thankful to Dr. Kalpana Pawar Madam, IQSC Coordinator, for her strong motivation and continuous flow of encouragement throughout this conference. I am deeply thankful to all the participants for their active participation in this conference. I expect the same response in future also. Thank you one and all. Sincerely, I express my thanks to all the staff members for their kind help to bring out grand success of this event. Lastly, I wish to thank all who support directly and indirectly to carry out this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sheetal Pare. Now moving to the next session, which covers the invited talk of Dr. G.G. Mude, the head, Postgraduate Teaching Department of Physics, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. Prior to hear his talk, may I now invite Mr. Nitin Kodekar for a detailed introduction of our honorable guest. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dhande sir. As Dhande sir told, this session's guest is Dr. Gajanan Mule sir. He is working as head of the Department of Physics, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University. He has done his MSc and PhD from Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University's Department of Physics, and also qualified exams like NET JRF, SET, DRDO SET, JEST, and many more. He has been awarded with various prestigious awards, including the Best Service Award from Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University. His research interest is nonlinear optical properties of materials and optical biosensors. He has completed 5 research projects and 1 is ongoing. Under his guidance, 6 research students have been awarded PhD and 3 are working today. He has published over 250 research papers in international or national journals or conferences or workshops. So this is brief introduction of Dr. Gajanan Mule sir. I know that you all are waiting for his wonderful talk. Then may I now invite Dr. Gajanan Mule sir for his talk.
I welcome you all participants in this talk. So in this talk, I will talk on the experimental techniques to study nonlinear optical effects. The outline of my talk is this one. So firstly, I will give you the brief introduction to nonlinear optical effects, and then I will talk a little bit on second order nonlinear optical effects, and then experimental technique to study the second order nonlinear effects, second harmonic generation. Then we shall briefly look into the third order nonlinear optical effects, and then we shall see the experimental technique to study the third order nonlinear electrical susceptibility, nonlinear refractive index, and absorption coefficient. So we always talk about optics, in which we deal with the light, ordinary light. So this ordinary light interacts with the our medium and give you absorption, refraction. So this is because this electric field of ordinary light, it develops the polarization, and this polarization it will be proportional to electric field E, because the electric field E of that electromagnetic radiations is it is able to develop electric field around 10 raised to power 3 volt per centimeter in the medium, and which if you compare it with the interatomic field, so which is 10 raised to power 7 to 10 raised to power 10 volt per centimeter, which is very large as compared to the electric field developed by the electromagnetic radiation. As the electric field of electromagnetic radiation is very less, so the ions uh, present in the medium, they displace through a very little distance, so that the polarization will not be very strong. That is, dipole moment, it will not be very strong. So that's why the polarization, whatever the polarization develop, it will be linearly dependent with the electric field, and it will oscillate. This polarization will oscillate with the frequency, whatever the frequency of the this oscillating electric field. And again, you know, the oscillating polarization emits the radiation. So certainly, as polarization is oscillating with frequency omega as that of the electric field E, so it will emit the frequency omega. So that in the linear optics, frequency of the incident electromagnetic radiation doesn't change. A refractive index, in this case, it is a constant of frequency. It doesn't change with the intensity. Whatever the intensity of the incident electromagnetic radiation, as far as it is weak, it will remain constant. Absorption will remain constant. It will not depend with the intensity of the incident radiation. So we say it is a linear optics, where refractive index and absorption coefficient doesn't change with the intensity. In this case, principle of superposition will valid, that is, two beams are passing with a different amplitudes, so that their amplitude in the medium gets added or subtracted depending on the phase. So this is about the linear optics. In nonlinear optics, uh, we are dealing with the very intense electromagnetic radiations. For example, we consider lasers. So we have nowadays the high power lasers, and which are able to develop electric field around 10 raised to power 5 to 10 raised to power 9 volt per centimeter in the medium. And if you compare it with the interatomic field, it is of the order of 10 raised to power 7 to 10 raised to power 10 volt per centimeter. So the electric field of the radiation, electromagnetic radiation, is uh, in the order of interatomic field, so that the polarization develop in this case. So displacement of the ions, it will be very large, so that because of the as the displacement of the ions and electrons is large, so there will be a very strong restoring force, and because of that restoring force, the polarization will overshoot, and the polarization will remain in phase with the applied electric field, and it will oscillate with the different frequencies, so that we can say the polarization will not remain proportional to whatever the electric field will have applied, as electric field is very strong, that is, radiations are very intense. So that's why we can write the polarization in the series of powers of electric field. So we can write this P is equal to epsilon 0 chi1 E plus chi2 E square plus chi3 E cube plus chi4 E raised to power 4, and so on. So this chi1 is a linear electrical susceptibility. Chi2 is the second order nonlinear electrical susceptibility. This is third one is chi3 is a third order nonlinear electrical susceptibility, and so on. As this series must be convergent, so certainly the proportionality constants chi1, chi2, chi3, the value must goes on decreasing. So chi1 is very large as compared to chi2, chi2 is very large as compared to chi3, and so on. Okay, so this is linear susceptibility, second order nonlinear optical electrical susceptibility. This is third order nonlinear electrical susceptibility, and so on. Generally, we represent the electromagnetic radiations by plane wave E is equals to E0 into e raised to power I kx minus omega t. As we consider it is propagating along x direction, and omega is the frequency with which the electric field is oscillating. That is the frequency of the electromagnetic radiations. So if you consider real part, this is just proportional to cos of omega t. And if you put this in this series, so we can write the polarization terms like this. So P is equals to, you will get P0 plus P1 cos of omega t plus P2 cos of 2 omega t plus P3 cos of 3 omega t. So here your electric field oscillating with the frequency omega, and we are putting in the series, so we are getting this DC term. This is a fundamental term that is oscillating with frequency omega. So this polarization term is oscillating with frequency omega, means it will emit the frequency omega. So it is said to be a fundamental term that is equals to the input frequency. This term consists of 2 omega, means this polarization is oscillating with a frequency 2 omega. So it is second harmonic term, means it is the frequency is double one. Here is 3 omega, the polarization is oscillating with frequency 3 omega, so it will emit the frequency which is equals to 3 omega. So it is third harmonic generation, third harmonic term. So it is a frequency 3 omega, and so on. We can have the different frequency. So this polarization term may have this is a DC term, means the DC field, DC polarization. So DC field is developed across the material, your medium, or your crystal. Frequency omega, 2 omega, 3 omega, different frequencies, some frequencies. So different kinds of effects takes place. So it is a nonlinear optical effects. So first nonlinear optical effect was studied by, it is demonstrated by the scientist Frankel and his co-worker in 1961 after the investigation of first laser. So in this experiment, this Frankel and his co-workers have used the ruby laser, which is emitting radiations 6943 angstrom, and the laser was focused and passed through the quartz crystal. And then this is experimental arrangement. He has this people have used. So firstly, it is collimating lenses, and it is passed through the prism to disperse the different frequencies. And this dispersed radiations were allowed to incident on the photographic plate to record the radiations. So in this experiment, they found that in the input, they have given only the frequency 6943 angstrom, but on the photographic plate, they found two spots, one corresponding to 6943 angstrom and another just half of this one, is 3471.5 angstrom. So the frequency of this when it is it's doubled, so wavelength is just half. Okay, so this result was published in this Physical Review Letters in 1961. So this is the the spot on the photographic plate, and here was a spot corresponding to 3471.5 angstrom. So this is the first demonstration of second harmonic generation, that is frequency is double and wavelength is just half. So after the invention of lasers, so many lasers of high intensities were became available, and so many optical effects were investigated, and so that so many applications have been we are using this non-linear optical effects in so many applications. So many applications have come forward. So there are so many applications of this non-linear optical effects. So firstly, we shall see the different kinds of non-linear effects. So as chi1 is very large, chi2 is very small as compared to chi1, but it is very large as compared to chi3, chi4. So the higher order nonlinear optical effects goes on decreasing. So the dominating nonlinear optical effects will be second order nonlinear optical effect, third order nonlinear effects. So second order nonlinear effects phenomena we shall see. So it consists of frequency conversion. Frequency conversion means there will be second harmonic generation. So in the input, if you have the nonlinear optical crystal, and in the input we are giving the we are allowing to incident the lasers of frequency omega. So at the output, the frequency will get doubled. So we say it is a second harmonic generation. So in which two photons are getting added, and one photon of frequency twice omega is generated. So this is second harmonic generation. Some frequency generation. So in some frequency generation, if you consider two photons are of different frequencies, omega 1 and omega 2, and these two photons are getting added. So at the output, we are getting the frequency omega 1 plus omega 2. As it is special case of second harmonic generation. If omega 1 is equals to omega 2 is equals to omega, so at the output, you will get it 2 omega. So this is some frequency generation. Difference frequency generation. In different frequency generation, if you in the input you are giving two types of lasers, having frequency omega 1 and omega 2. So omega 1 and omega 2, these two photons will get the difference, they will get minus. So the frequency will be omega 1 minus omega 2. So at the output, you are getting a different frequency. So this is difference frequency generation, means two photons, the frequency is 1 omega 1 minus omega 2. So at output, you are getting omega 1 minus omega 2. So it is difference frequency generation. Optical rectification. So here it is special case of difference frequency generation. Here in the case of difference frequency generation, we are considering the photons, two photons of frequency omega 1 and omega 2, and they are subtracting. So if you consider omega 1 is equals to omega 2, so at the output you will get the 0, the frequency will be 0, means there is optical rectification, means the frequency at the output you will get the DC field, means the DC field across the crystal it will be developed. So it is said to be optical rectification, as same as that of the rectification by the semiconducting diode. So there is a rectifier, we are passing the AC current through diode, and it is rectifying it, and we are producing a DC current. So here is optical rectification. Parametric amplification. So it is another second order nonlinear optical process. Parametric oscillations. So these two are used to generate the different frequencies, or we can say this, all these processes are used to develop the lasers of a different frequencies. So second harmonic generation, it is used to convert the IR lasers into visible laser and ultraviolet lasers. So some frequency, it is again used to convert the IR laser to visible and ultraviolet radiations. Different frequency generation of parametric amplification and parametric oscillations. These effects are used to generate the IR and IR lasers in IR region and visible region. This focal effect, if you consider we have applied a DC electric field across crystal, and we are passing the polarized laser light through the crystal. So for particular polarization, this crystal will not allow to pass that laser pulse. But if you apply electric field, then the polarization of that medium will changes, and then it allows the electric field to pass through this. So this is it is said to be a Pockels effect, and in this case, the this proper this whatever the electrical susceptibilities, that is proportional to the applied electric field. Okay, so this is a Pockels effect. It is used in so many applications for the switching of the lasers. Again, switches in the optical communications. So many places this Pockels effect is used. Another one is the third order phenomena. So in third order phenomena, the phenomena we can see it is third harmonic generations. Means in the input, if you get a frequency omega, so at the output you will get the frequency omega. Second harmonic generation, it is mentioned here, second harmonic generation. So if you talk about the second order nonlinear optical phenomena, this second order nonlinear optical phenomena we can see only in non-centrosymmetric crystals. So the non-centrosymmetry, it is the requirement to observe the nonlinear second order nonlinear optical phenomena. But this third order nonlinear optical phenomena doesn't require this condition. So you can have the we can observe the third order nonlinear optical phenomena in every material. Okay, so we can observe in gases, liquids, glasses, and crystals also. Okay, so it doesn't require non-centrosymmetry. So we can observe second harmonic generation in this non-centrosymmetric crystal. But here we can also observe second harmonic generation if you apply this electric field to the crystal. So that we can have the second harmonic generation. It is self-phase modulation. So as the laser light passes through the material, so their refractive index change, and so that the bandwidth change, and you can have the self-phase modulation. Self-focusing, the refractive index of the materials is changing, and because of that, if the material, the refractive index increases with the intensity of the electromagnetic radiations. So if you consider the Gaussian beam, so in that Gaussian beam there will be a gradient in refractive index, and it will give as a lens, converging lens, and it will converge the laser beam. So it is just to self-focusing. Reverse thing is also happening. If your refractive index is -1, then it is a self-defocusing. So we shall talk on this this self-focusing and self-defocusing later on. Four-wave mixing. This is four-wave mixing. Actually, this third order phenomena, it is a four-wave mixing. So in four-wave mixing, we can have the optical this His conjugation phenomena and other things. Again, this is stimulated Brillouin scattering, stimulated Raman scattering. So these are the third order phenomena. So this self-focusing will lead to the optical solitons. So let us see, if you any material, it is if you allow to incident the laser beam, so the material, because of this refraction, the material gets the laser beams get diverged inside the material. But as your material is non-linear one, optically non-linear one, and the refractive index changes with the intensity, and it is a positive change, then there will be a self-focusing effect. So your laser beam is diverging because of the refraction, and there is a self-focusing as the refractive index is increasing with the intensity. So if these two phenomena are these two effects are counterbalanced, so your laser beam will travel without changing the dimension and intensity of optical silicon. His conjugation is the another one. If you incident two laser lights of the same frequency in opposite direction on the crystal, so it will form a grating. As there will be there will be interference of these two laser beams, and at one position, whenever there is a constructive interference, intensity will increase. At the position where the destructive interference, intensity will be less, intensity will be large, intensity will be less. So there will be a grating developed inside the material with intensity. At one position intensity is very large, at another position intensity is very less. So like this, so because of the change in intensity, refractive index, it will change with the position, and so grating of refractive index is developed. And as this is said to be a phase conjugation, as another wave that is radiations, it is inciding on that one, so it will be out of phase, it will get reflected back out of phase. And as it passes through the medium, so firstly if you consider this when we are putting the one medium, so another distorting medium is there, and through which the wave is passing, and it is so through the distorting medium there will be distortion in the wave layer, that the wave it will be developed, and it is getting reflected back. So it after reflection it will get wave will be out of phase, and again it is passing through that distorting medium, so it will remove that distortion and you will get a non-distorted wave. So if you consider the normal mirror, so there the distortion will be amplified. So this type of phase conjugation is used for the image correction. Okay. So these are the second order and third order nonlinear optical phenomena. As we have already talked about the second harmonic generation, so we shall see how to study the second harmonic generation. So in second harmonic generation, we consider the laser at the input. So for example, if you consider NDR laser of wavelength 1064 nanometer, so here two photons are shown, and they are passing through the second order nonlinear optical crystal, and at the output you will get the radiations of wavelength just half of this one, it is 532 nanometer. Okay, so two photons are getting added, and you are getting one photon of frequency double of this one, and the wavelength is just half of this one. Okay. So two photons are adding together and forming two photon of one photon of frequency 2 omega. So in as already told you that the first second harmonic generation was demonstrated by the Franken and his co-worker by a quartz crystal. So they allowed to incident ruby laser on this quartz crystal, and this frequency gets double or the wavelength gets half as it passes through the quartz crystal. And this is the first demonstration of second harmonic generation. So this kind of experimental setup you can use to study the second harmonic generation. But in this case, we shall require quartz crystal. We shall require crystal. So in order to study the second harmonic generation in any another crystal, so we need it in the crystal form. Again, there is a phase matching, so we have to do phase matching so that we can get the maximum power at 2 omega frequency at the output. So in order to, we have to cut the crystal in a proper direction and then use in the experiment. So it is very difficult to align the crystal, cut and polish. So, and we have to firstly grow the crystal, and growing crystal, it is very difficult, pure crystal growing. So it is a costly process. So firstly we can study the second harmonic generation with the powder sample. So to study the second harmonic generation of the powder sample, this Kurz and Perry, these two scientists have developed this experimental setup. So in which this is the first experimental setup they have used. So they just focus this laser on this sample, whole sample under investigation. It is a powder sample, and this powder sample it generates the second harmonic signal, so which was collected by this focusing mirror, and then it is focused. It is passed through this 532 nanometer narrow band pass filter, and then it is fed to the photomultiplier tube, and then it is displayed on the oscilloscope. So we can see the pulse of this 532 nanometer signal on this oscilloscope. So this is the technique which is developed by the Kurz and Perry to study the uh, second harmonic generation of powder sample. And in this case, we cannot find out absolute efficiency of the material. So we require some reference material with which we can compare the efficiency of our sample. So generally, KDP, potassium dihydrogen orthophosphate, is generally used as a reference material, and or you can use the urea as a reference material. So in comparison with this KDP and urea, the conversion efficiency of this material of your material is measured, and this is the experimental setup. But people have modified the experimental setup, and they use like this. So here people use this NDR laser. It is UV visible filter, only 1064 nanometer wavelength is passed through the allowed to incident on this sample, and then it is again filtered by with IR filter, generally interference filter with high, this is IR filter here is used, and it is fed to the monochromator. And after monochromator, it only select 532 nanometer wavelength, and then it is fed to PMT photomultiplier tube amplifier and displayed on the your digital storage oscilloscopes. The other people have just replaced this pearl to photomultiplier tube and directly attach U visible spectrophotometer. So this is a modified Pulse and Perry experimental setup. So this is U visible filter, which this India laser beam is passing. This is sample, and this is IR filter. Or you can use here the interference filter, and only 53 nanometer wavelength is passed through this one. So the green light is passed through this one, and it is displayed. This pass through the, or it is fed to the visible spectrophotometer, and you can directly see the spectrum. So this is the typical spectrum of the second harmonic generation of a different sample is in here. So here this is the wavelength range, and it is intensity along this axis. So this is it is a zinc 5 urea chloride sample, second harmonic generation peak. This is pattern for this peak for KDP, and this is for ZTC with L-alanine 1%, L-alanine 2%. So this way you will get the signal at the output, and you can compare the output or the second harmonic intensity of your sample with the potassium dihydrogen orthophosphate or urea, and from that one you can discuss about the efficiency of your material, whether it is greater than KDP or urea or less than that one, or how much, or whether it is able to generate second harmonic frequency or not. So we can talk about like this, about the second harmonic generation. So this is a simple technique, but certainly it is a costly one, because it will require NDAC laser. It is expensive one, then filters, then usable spectrophotometer. So this simple technique is used to study the second harmonic generation. Now come to the third order nonlinear optical effect. So there are so many third order nonlinear effects. We shall talk only on the nonlinear refractive index. Okay, so as intense radiations are interacting with the medium, maybe gases, liquids, glasses, or crystals, as it is interacting with this one. So the intense because of this high intensity refractive index of the material changes with the intensity, so that we can write the total refractive index. It is equal to n0 plus n2i. N0 is a linear refractive index. This is n2 is a non-linear refractive index, and I is the intensity of the radiation. Okay, so your refractive index is changing with the intensity of the laser. So we say it is a non-linear refractive index, and because of this refractive index is changing with the intensity, it will give rise different types of phenomena, and so many applications are there. Okay, so here is the soliton is I already talked to you. So it is a soliton is shown as this. If the laser is inciding in this on this medium as passes through this one, so it will get diverged. And if your refractive index is changing with the intensity, so it will try to converge it. If this refraction and this self-focusing, they are counterbalance, so your beam, it will pass through that medium without changing its dimension. Okay, so we say it is optical soliton. So the as the refractive index is changing with the intensity, so it will give you as the gives you self focusing or self defocusing. If refractive index change in refractive index is positive one, that is non-linear refractive index positive one, then it will give you self focusing. Means if you consider a Gaussian beam, Gaussian profile of your laser beam, it is passes so the in the through the material, so intensity of that laser beam, it will be maximum at the center, and it is decreases along the radial direction. So intensity is decreasing along radial direction, maximum at the center, so the refractive index will be very large at the center, and it will decrease along the radial direction, so it will form a converging lens. It will form converging lane, so that your radiation will converge. Okay, so it will lead to the self-focusing. If it is negative, then it is your refractive index is negative, then the refractive index, it will increase along the radial direction, so that your radiation, it will diverge. Okay, so it is said to be self defocusing. So these two things have their own applications in different fields. So we shall talk on that one. Another one is it will lead to the optical Kerr effect, same as that of the Pockels effect, but in this case it will depends on the square of the electric field. So the change in refractive index, it will be proportional to the square of the optical electric field. Another non-local effects are responsible for the change in the non-linear refractive index. So those non-linear optical effects are first one is the thermal gradient. As your laser passes through the medium and intensity decreases along the radial direction, so that was the temperature, it is decreases along the radial direction of that beam, so that there will be a thermal gradient, and because of that there will be a change in the refractive index. Again, because of that electric field, so there is a displacement of atoms or molecules of the medium, and so that there will be change in density along along that radial direction of your laser beam. So there will be change in the density. So there will be a gradient in density. So because of that, there will be change in the refractive index. So because of this, there will be a change in the refractive index, and it will give you different uh, effects: self-focusing, self-defocusing, non-linear absorption, non-linear scattering. Okay, and these have the applications in non-linear spectroscopy, optical switching, optical logic gates, optical communications, optical limiting, passive laser mode locking, and waveguide switches, modulators, etc. So this intensity dependent refractive index, that is non-linear refractive index. It will lead to be so many applications. Okay. So we shall talk about the application of the materials in optical limiting. So in optical, as we are dealing with the lasers of high intensity, so we are using very costly sensors to detect these radiations. So as the intensity is very large, it is again it becomes necessary to protect our sensor. Again, we are just dealing with this high intensity radiation. So we have to protect our eyes from this intense radiation. So in order to protect these sensors and eyes, so we have to have these limiters so that these limiters can allow the laser radiations up to certain allowed intensity, and then it will not allow the high intensity radiations above certain limits. So we have to block the high intensity radiation, or we have to stabilize the intensity of the inciding radiations. So we require optical limiters so that it can reduce the intensity above certain threshold value. So this will require the self-defocusing or nonlinear absorption phenomena. So self-defocusing, it will diverge the radiation so that the intensity at the output it will be less. Nonlinear absorption means as the intensity increases, absorption should increase so that the intensity at the output it will be uh, less, or it can be reduced. Okay, so this optical limiting will require self-defocusing materials, and also they should have nonlinear absorption or nonlinear scattering. Okay. So the nonlinear absorption, there are different kinds of nonlinear absorption. This is excited state absorption, saturable absorption, two photon absorption, reverse saturable absorption, precarrier absorption, two photon assisted excited state absorption. So the saturable absorption means as intensity increases, absorption decreases. But this reverse saturable absorption, it is as the intensity increases, the absorption it will increase. Two photon absorption means at a time two photons are absorbed. Free carrier absorption means in the material there are free carriers, that is positive, these positive holes and electrons are there. So hole and electron pair is there. So they will absorb the laser light, laser photons, and gets excited again in same band. So these are said to be free carrier absorption. So these are the nonlinear absorption, which leads to the change in refractive index. And we can use this technique to study the different energy level, that is nonlinear spectroscopy. Okay. So here two photon absorption means two photons are absorbed at a time, and it will be, your electron will be excited to this upper energy level, and we can find out this absorption coefficient for this process beta. So we shall use a very simple technique. It is said to be a Z-scan technique. So we shall discuss the Z-scan technique. So whatever the change in refractive index, nonlinear change in the refractive index, it is because it is the contribution to that. It is because of the electronic polarization, molecular orientation, electrostatic, saturable absorption, thermal effect, and photorefractive effect. So electronic polarization, as the electric field is there, so electrons very fastly they will respond, very quickly respond to that changing in electric field. Uh, so electronic polarization is always there. Molecular orientation. Molecular orientation, in this case, if the electric field changes, the molecules tries to get aligned along the electric field, so that there is a change in refractive index. This electrostatic means density is changes because of the optical field. Saturated absorption, so there is a nonlinear absorption. which is depends on the intensity of the incident radiations and thermal effect. So because of this, the nonlinear refractive index changes. Okay. Now let us see the contribution to this nonlinear, all these processes to the nonlinear refractive index and their response time. Okay. So contribution from this electronic polarization to the nonlinear refractive index, it is of the order of 10 raised to power minus 16 centimeter square per watt. And the third order nonlinear electrical susceptibility is 10 raised to power minus 14, and response time is very less, it is 10 raised to power minus 15, it is femtosecond. Molecular orientation contribution of the order of 10 raised to power minus 14 to the N2, 10 raised to power minus 12 to Chi3, and response time is 10 raised to power minus 12 second, second. Electrostatic contribution to N2 is 10 raised to power minus 14, Chi3 it is 10 raised to power minus 12, and response time is nanosecond. Saturated atomic absorption, this contribution to N2 is 10 raised to power minus 10, Chi3 it is minus 10 raised to power minus 8, response time is 10 raised to power minus 8 seconds. Thermal effects, now here this contribution is very large as compared to other, this 10 raised to power minus 6 to N2, 10 raised to power minus 4 to Chi3, and response time is millisecond. Okay. So in order to study the nonlinear refractive index change only because of electronic polarization, we should have that laser pulses of the order of 10 raised to power minus 15 seconds. That is, surely in order to study only the nonlinear refractive index change because of electronic polarization, we need femtosecond lasers. For molecular orientation, so if we have used the picosecond laser, so we can have the contribution to the nonlinear refractive index by these two factors. But in our experiments, if you don't have this expensive laser, femtosecond laser, picosecond laser, so we can do this nonlinear optical study. This is because of thermal effect. Response time is minus 3 seconds. So using very cheap HENE lasers. Okay, so using HENE laser, we can study the nonlinear refractive index, third order nonlinear electrical susceptibility by using very cheap HENE laser and a very simple Z-scan technique. Okay, so this is a Z-scan technique which is used to measure the nonlinear refractive index. Again, type of absorption, and also the third order nonlinear electrical susceptibility. So in this Z-scan technique, this laser beam, it is passed through the focusing lens, it is focused, and this sample is translated about this focal point, and then transmitted radiations are passed through. Here is a splitter, beam splitter, it is fed to the one detector, and it is another portion, it is passed through the aperture to the detector. So the transmitted portion through aperture, it is around 0.1 to 0.5 times that of the total transmitted radiations. Okay, so if your transmitted radiations are passed through the aperture, that it is said to be a closed aperture Z-scan. If your transmitted radiations are directly fed to the detector, then it is said to be a open aperture Z-scan. You can perform these two closed aperture and open aperture Z-scan simultaneously by putting beam splitter. If you don't have two detector, then you can repeat this experiment 2 times for firstly close aperture Z-scan, another by removing this aperture. You can perform for open aperture Z-scan. Okay, so if your material is self-focusing type, if it is self-focusing type, means it is refractive index, nonlinear refractive index N2 is +1. So as you translate this sample about this direction, about the axis of this laser beam, about the direction of the laser beam, and it is assumed as the z axis, z direction. So that's why it is said to be a z scan. Z scan. And this technique was firstly investigated by the Bahe and his co-worker. So if your sample is self-focusing type, that is positive N2, then as you translate this through about this focal point, so you will get this solid type of curve. That is firstly about before this focal point, you will get the dip, and then you will get the peak. Means from this nature of the graph, you can say what is the sign of your refractive index, whether it is positive or negative. If it is a defocusing, then you will get firstly the peak and then dip. So this your refractive nonlinear refractive index has a sign minus -1. Okay, and from this change in this this transmission, from this one we can find out delta t, and from that one you can find out this N2, and then electricals nonlinear third order nonlinear electrical susceptibility. So this is if it is a positive, N2 is positive one, so you will get firstly the dip and then peak. And if N2 is -1, so you will get the firstly peak and then dip at this position. In if you have a open aperture Z scan, so possibly you can get these types of pattern. You either you will get the peak at the focal point, or either you will get dip, or you will get the straight line. So if you are getting a straight line, means your material is not absorbing non-linearly, it is a linear absorption. If you are getting a peak, means the transmit intensity of the transmitted light is increasing with the intensity of the laser radiations, so that we can say there is a the absorption is decreases with the intensity, so that we can say it is saturable absorption. Means absorption is decreasing with the intensity. If you are getting the dip, means absorption is increasing with the intensity. So there will be absorption with the increasing with the intensity. It may be because of excited state absorption to photon absorption or reverse saturable absorption. Okay. So from this one, we can say whether your material showing reverse saturable absorption, excited state absorption to photon absorption, or it is just showing saturable absorption. So, and again from this one you can find out the coefficient of nonlinear absorption. Okay, so these are the some mathematical term. So this is change in transformation in peak and value. So from this one you can find out the value of N2. Okay, so you can find out the value of beta. So these are the mathematical terms. So in our laboratory, we have performed experiments. So we have studied the non-evaporative popular, so many nanoparticles embedded in so many different kinds of polymer matrices. So here are the results, a few results. So these are the close aperture Z scan patterns of ZNO nanoparticles embedded in PVA matrix, polyvinyl acetate matrix. And again, we have used different dopants. So these are the close aperture scan patterns of nanoparticles embedded in polymer matrix, PVA matrix. This is open aperture scan pattern. So see here, in this case, you have firstly the peak and then dip. Means it is a in this case it is a self defocusing type of material. So this material is self defocusing. Here is dip, means it is showing the nonlinear absorption, intensity, nonlinear absorption, intensity dependent absorption. And certainly it may be because of two photon absorption, reverse saturable absorption, or excited state absorption. Okay. So these are the again close aperture Z scan, open aperture Z scan of the copper oxide nanoparticles. These are the copper oxide nanoparticles embedded in different polymer matrices. Okay, this is closed aperture Z scan, open aperture Z scan of copper dope ZNO PVA PVA nanocomposites. And these are the values of derived values of N2 for this ZNO copper oxide nanoparticles. And certainly they are changing with the concentration of dopants. Okay, so whatever these materials we have developed, they shows the negative type of refractory index, and so they can be used for the optical limiting purposes. So another technique to study the nonlinear optical effect is optical limiting study. So optical limiting study, as I have already told that as we are dealing with the intense radiation, laser radiations. So sometimes high intensity of the laser may increase suddenly because of change in the surrounding, other power supply and other things, any disturbance. So because of that intensity, if it is a sudden increase, so it may damage the your sensors, or it may damage your eyes too. So if you coat your sensors or goggles with this optical limiting material, so they will allow to pass up to the radiations up to certain intensity, and then if intensity is increased above that allowed value, then it will be decreased, or it may be that up to that level only. Okay, so we say this optical limiting. So we can do this optical limiting study. So here in this setup, this is laser, here is a reflector, and it is passed through the sample, and it is fed to the optical power meter. So we have to measure the power of the inciding laser light, and then the output of this light passing, or the laser light passing through the sample. Okay, so this is the optical limiting study of doped and undoped. It is SR doped copper oxide PVA colloidal suspension. So in this case, this was a PVA solution was used. So if you consider the input power to this sample and the output power from that is a sample. So for this PVA, you will see the output power is almost linearly increasing with the input power. But for other samples, you will see after a certain input power, it is becoming constant. It is up to certain power, the input power is increasing, and after that inciding power, the output power, it is approximately it becomes constant. So means it is not allowing the power at the pass through that material after certain limit. So these are the optical threshold values are given for this PVA. It is a straight line, means it is not showing threshold value. This is a copper oxide, pure copper oxide in PVA. So it is showing 30 milliwatt, 30 milliwatt. So after that it becomes constant one. For this one, this sample, it is 32 milliwatt. So after that one, it is almost becomes constant at the output. Okay, so these materials can be used as optical limiting materials, as optical limiters. Okay, so this way we can study the nonlinear optical properties of the materials. Okay, so thank you for watching patiently my this talk. Okay, so thank you very much all participants, and thank you organizer for giving me a chance to present before you these different techniques to study the nonlinear optical properties of the material.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am thankful to organizer for giving me opportunity to express my sincere gratitude on the occasion of National E-Conference on Interdisciplinary Recent Research Trends. First of all, I like to express my sincere gratitude towards the Chief Patron, Honorable Shri Harshavardhan Deshmukh Sir, President of Shri Shivaji Education Society Amravati, for motivating us to organizing such events. I, on behalf of Physics Department, extend a very heartfelt thanks to the resource person, Honorable Dr. G. Mole Sir, Head and Associate Professor, Sant Gadgebaba Amravati University, for kindly accepting our invitation and bless us with their presence and took out valuable time of your busy schedule and give the deeply knowledge about the characterization. I would like to express our profound gratitude to Principal Honorable Dr. G.R. Tadas Sir for his guidance in organizing this e-conference. My sincerely thanks IQSC Coordinator and Convener Dr. Pawar Madam for moral support, guidance and motivation. The most important, our special thank you goes to all participants for showing their interest in this e-conference. I would like to thank all coordinators, Shri G.B. Harde Sir, Dr. G.C. Kamble Sir, Dr. P.M. Dahikar Madam for their continuous support. I would like to thank Organizing Secretary, Dr. R.S. Dhande Sir, technical team and all faculty members for their enormous cooperation. I once again thank you everyone for making this program successful. Thank you.